24-hour volume for AMP is up 8%, and the fucking 24-hour volume for NCT is up 206%. For real? God damn.
Okay, we're live now. Go check the thing. See if it's
Oh, I just got the notification.
beautiful.
You want me to open it?
Yeah, go ahead. Check it. Let's see if how it sounds.
Oh shit, my bad.
No, it's all good.
Into fucking right there, 16
see.
seconds ago.
Yeah, let me get the
Okay.
link. I'm gonna share it on Instagram. Let's see.
Orale.
There we go.
There we go. I wanted to see how.
See, check your sound.
5 seconds.
How's your sound?
How do you sound?
Check your sound. Yeah, you can turn it off now. Yeah.
Okay.
We're good, I think. Yeah. Okay.
All right, it's off. Give me something. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Keep going. Okay. That
That's
sounds
good.
better
Okay,
for me.
perfect. All right, good. All right. Let me introduce ourselves again. Hello, everybody. This is John with Buddy Smooth Crypto. And on today's episode, we have Crypto King, and he will go over the monthly and weekly candle closures. What that means is we're going to check up on a Bitcoin and see how it's doing for the end of the month. And every month is, starts over again. And we'll go from there. See, he'll correct me if I say something wrong about this, but we're just going to go over the monthly chart. Crypto King is going to give us his thoughts on it, and we'll see where his next price prediction will be at. So let me set him up so he could talk to you guys. All right. Oh, sorry. Let me get out the way. There we go. Go for it. Do your thing.
Okay, so we're going to start off looking at the monthly time frame. If I could see to accept this. Okay, so starting on the monthly time frame, we are currently on my specific chart. Okay, here we go. That's working better. Let's zoom it in, make it a little bit bigger, and just look at what Bitcoin has been doing here recently. So right now, we're just really concerned with the March candle closure right here, which closed green, which is a great sign. Price obviously came down. Could you, when I'm saying this, Jonathan, could you check what the price is right there? Are you able to see that?
No, not from. If you do the control zoom in, control plus, it'll zoom in your screen. Let me see. I got you.
Okay.
Is that better? Can you see that better?
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. So the last month's candle, the wick came down to about 35,000, I believe that says right there.
Yeah, 36,473, 78.
Thank you. And that was also a fib level, kind of two big fib levels that I'll explain in a second. Price was bought right back up and then closed, obviously above the previous month of February. And now we have this weekly candle that just opened a few days ago. So let's just look at, see what we've been doing, see what Bitcoin's been doing, how it's been moving and acting. So really, we want to just look to the left. So we want to look here where we have our high and we have one of the fibs drawn to the swing low right here of May of last year. And that's the orange Fibonacci retracement that you see currently. And then the most recent Fibonacci we have drawn from the red candle up here in November. And we have it down to, let me take a look here. we have it drawn down here to January of this year. So really I just keep them both open just to, keep my eyes fresh and be able to see different ways and see if one's going to play out better than the other one. And from here, I mean, just look at what we have. We have a high, we have a low here. Then we came up and made a higher high from this previous high. And now our lows are getting higher. So it's higher highs and higher lows. So, I mean, everything's going good. With Bitcoin, the next step would be a higher high, which would probably be one of these Fibonacci levels here. Fibonacci retracement, trend line that I have drawn over here. That'll probably act as support, act as resistance one day. But now for the guys that do, a lot of technical analysis, which really this could be a bear flag with the flagpole here. If you could imagine that, just a straight line. We have the flagpole. I'll draw that here. We have a flagpole here. Okay, and then we have this upwards movement. Not really anything impulsive, but potentially if we take this flagpole and draw it from where we're at currently, that would bring us back down to about the $19,000 level.
Oh boy.
Which would be, retesting these levels of the breakouts before we just went crazy parabolic back in December and November of 2020. But I mean, I'm really not too worried or concerned with that. That would be a huge, movement in the market. And, it's just because people might think that this is a flagpole down. We form the flag, maybe form it for a couple more months before we get that push back down. But really, I mean, everything seems healthy. Everything seems good. Like I said, on the monthly time frame for Bitcoin right now, we're looking right now. We had a high, we had our low, we had a higher high, and we put in currently since January and February, we put on our higher low. So from here, we already have the Fibonacci's drawn. Trend lines are coming from the weekly and daily time frame. Now let's switch over and look at the weekly time frame. Just adjust the charts real quick and just look at it. So look at this, this healthy natural movement. You have your ups, you have your downs, you have your attempts, and finally your pumps before we came back down to retest levels of support, levels of resistance on the, way up, getting rejected before we broke through, support, broke through, and now it looks like we're getting, attempted to get rejected at these levels. So again, just like the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame looks amazing. We have our high, we have our lows, higher highs, lower highs, and this is my personal Bitcoin technical analysis chart that I use. We could switch over to the Buttersmooth Media chart that we've been doing all the, the lessons and technical analysis on lately. But right now, this is my chart. I have some counter trend lines drawn from way back when of February of 2021. Just really seeing how everything has worked out, keeping them in play just to see, because all this time later, what is this, November of 2021, everything is played out. You know what I mean? So really all of 2021, it took time to play out. And now when and if, I guess I should say, if Bitcoin decides to move up, this is where I would expect it to go, to retest these counter trend lines. Because back here, when we were just dumping and melting and going sideways and coming up a little bit and started to dump again, you would never think, Mike, Crypto King, whatever you want to call me, you could delete those because that's not going to come into play. Those counter trend lines have nothing to do with this technical analysis. But again, the weekly time frame, things take time to play out. So if we are to move back up, I would expect us to come up to these counter trend lines. Obviously not right away. We'll probably bounce around between the 61.8, come back down, come back up before we finally go for the movement, which, if I could just imagine that in my head here, come up, probably retest before we start going for it. That's, mid-August, late August at the earliest.
To return to the all-time high.
All-time high and start challenging it, potentially go into price discovery mode, things like that. So, that's really where we're at now. Everything is looking good. We're within a Fibonacci. We just came over a strong-ish level of support, flipped to resistance. Now we've retested it. We were getting rejected. It was playing as resistance. Now we're back over it, retested it a little bit as support before hopefully going back up to the next fib level, and that's a 61.8.
Okay.
But again, that's the older one. The yellow fib level is the newer one. So I would expect, if we do start to move pretty well, I would expect us to come up to about, what is that, Jonathan? 65,000?
Yeah, 60,540.
Yeah.
At the 0.236 line.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we start moving on the weekly time frame, this is where I would expect us to go. But if you look to the left, just like I say all of the time, this is why I have this drawn. This was
Go ahead.
This was a very strong support. I guess I shouldn't say very strong support. It was support. It was resistance back here. I just have it drawn from here. It was resistance, flip support. And now when we do get a movement back up here, I would expect this to take us some time to get through. About say 58,000 to 59,000. I would expect us to get up there, probably get rejected a few times, maybe come to this fib level around 51,000 before, the bulls really come out and push us up.
So since the market's been flipping a little bit, do you think this is it starting to turn back to bullish, or is it just, what do they call it, the bull trap, where they just want you to jump back in so the big whales could get their money out?
Right. So, we could look at a few things as well. I wouldn't expect, let's get our measuring tool out from, let's say this is 1, 2, 3 weeks, and we're at the start of the 4th week. I wouldn't consider, I guess that's a 25% movement.
Yeah.
That's not enough for me to believe that it's full on, bull cycle, a bull market. But all the signs for a bull market are here. We're on the weekly time frame. Just like I said earlier, when we plugged in our high, our low, we built back up. That's such beautiful, healthy movement to come up here, to get rejected, for a lot of buy pressure to come in and just to send us. And, once we pumped up, we made a new high. Right?
Yep.
Because this high compared to this high, this one's higher.
Yep.
Then when we did get rejected and come down, we put in, here's our previous low, and now this is a higher low.
Yeah.
So, the technical analysis is all pointing bullish, but, you can't get too excited for a cryptocurrency to pump 25% and expect us to be in a full-fledged
bull market.
Okay. Exactly.
What are other aspects that you will look at? Like, and I'm talking about like volume and trading activity. How would you measure that into your analysis?
I don't at all. If I'm just looking at Bitcoin, it's just straight technical analysis, support, resistance, a few counter trend lines, and a Fibonacci on large time frames. If you're, day trading, scalping, a little bit of swing trading as well, you could look into volume, and that's something that I do. Volume, circulating supply, how many, coins or whatever have already been created, how many are left to be created, and what the price currently is versus its previous high.
Okay. All right. So where would you want to buy now? If you were wanting to buy Bitcoin, where would you want to buy now?
If I wanted to buy now, I would just buy now.
Okay.
At current price, whatever it may be. But if you want, to preserve your capital, if you want your US dollar to go further and buy you more Bitcoin or whatever it may be, then do your technical analysis. Maybe wait till we get a little bit more of a pump and then buy the pullback, because from looking at this chart, you already see the higher high, We have a low and a higher low. So I would let the market pull back up, do whatever it needs to do. And then when it corrects back down, probably around these levels here, where I have the cursor and you
40.
see the horizontal line from the cursor all the way to the right, probably right at these levels. Because if you look, I mean, it's acted as
Good support.
resistance here. It's acted as resistance here. It's acted as support before a nice, where the all-time high pump initiated. And then over here to the right, I mean, look how much resistance it's been before we've finally broken above.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would buy around 42,000 if I had, if I had 0 Bitcoin, 0 crypto, I'm new into crypto. But again, with these prices being so high and just a couple of years ago, we were a lot lower, I would be patient and sit on my hands.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. You want to take a look at AMP?
Sure. I mean, if you want to get into AMP, we can
let's take a little bit into AMP. Let's see.
All right. Give me just a second. I don't have a AMP chart, but I'm going to go to the Buttersmooth Crypto.
Go for it. Yeah. Leave.
Hold on. Changes. Let me cancel this real quick. Oh, we didn't even do anything. It's just going to say I'm on the weekly time frame.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this. Buttersmooth Crypto. Oh, look at that. Atom.
Yeah.
How about we just look at Atom?
Yeah, let's look at Atom then.
Opposed to AMP. Do you still have some Atom holdings?
No, I already sold it all for NCT.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. So this is technical analysis that I did with Jonathan. When was it? Like a month? 2 months ago?
It was a while back. Yeah.
Maybe not 2 months, but say a month and a half to a month ago. So from here, this was just a trade that Jonathan got into. And
yeah, we talked about it on the show before.
Okay.
You guys, I mentioned in one of the episodes, Atom. It was a mistake buy.
It's DOT, right?
No, so it's Cosmos and the ticker name is Atom.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Cosmos. So here we are. The data's coming from Coinbase. We're on the weekly time frame. And when me and you looked at it, it was just to see, if your mistake could potentially pay off or not.
Yeah.
And what we did was I drew some trend lines from this wick, top of this wick, to the top of the wick here. And then I just extended it out. Okay. Then the same thing for the bottom. And I believe the bottom one was probably on the daily time frame. We'll look at that in just a second. And then I just found one level of resistance, turn support here, because this really isn't resistance. It just blew right through that time. And then another counter trend line. We just found them. We played with them. We looked at them and just saw what made sense, right? So we're in this, this triangle formation, whatever you want to call it. And everything looks pretty healthy, pretty good for a breakout incoming, because again, we have the highs here. We have a low. We made, it looks like that. This is the all-time high here.
Yeah.
But you could call this a double top. You could call it whatever you want. But I would expect, for us to we put the low at first low, second low, third low. So everything's just condensing. Everything's, building pressure for when it does break out, which I would say this looks more so ready to break out than anything I've looked at today.
Okay.
I would still be comfortable holding this, and I would just expect a high to come back in, probably a new all-time high, which, what is that, 52 or 53?
$53.
$53. I would expect a movement up there and potentially to wick through a little bit, because if it goes to 53, it's probably going to go to 55 or $60. So a wick through, but I would expect the body to either close on the trend line or right below it.
Gotcha.
So, that's Atom for you.
Yeah,
we could look at the daily time frame.
Yeah, let's see.
Just zoom out and just look at it.
Sorry.
Okay, you're good. Just zoom out and look at it a little bit. The daily time frame again. So yeah, we have the touch points here. Our third touch point, we did, break the trend line a little bit, but typically your third touch point is, I wouldn't call it manipulative. pump through, but it typically pumps through the trend line. So, I mean, look at how nice this looks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's all
just
in the
bouncing from the top, bottom, back to the top, coming back down, bouncing to the top. We broke through the bottom a little bit, and now we're just skating on the bottom before we come up and maybe, hit a little resistance here, hit a little resistance here at these minor trend lines before we make that movement to $54 or $55.
Okay, so this is it's gonna double up, but probably.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, so I mean, because once people see that movement, everybody wants to jump in.
Exactly. That's the truth.
Do you want to do an amp?
We could look at amp.
Yeah, let's look at it. That's the last one. Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that one.
Let's see here.
Because that's what we're the most bullish on at this moment.
Oh, we do have amp on here.
Oh boy, there
I
you
saw
go.
the pink and I knew, dude. It's like that.
Look at that. What's going on here? Tell us what's going on here, Crypto
Okay.
King.
You know I'm going to look deep into this now. I don't want to say never, but I don't think I've done much technical analysis on amp.
Okay.
So again, amp paired with the US dollar, the daily time frame, we're about to change that, but the data is coming from Coinbase. So from here, this is like a top-down analysis right now.
Yeah.
Just a second. Let's get this situated.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
that looks terrible. Look at that high.
Oh boy.
You have to be my eyes. 12 cents.
12 cents. Yep.
Okay.
12, 30, 1, 2, 3, basically. Point 1, 2, 3.
So it pumped when it went on Coinbase, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. When was this? This was June of 21.
21, yeah.
Okay. So it's been on Coinbase for a little bit, almost a year. And what? This is April, May, June. So a couple more months until it's been on there for a year. So really on the monthly time frame, excuse me for getting so sidetracked, we just have wicks to the upside. We have this initial wick. The next month was July had a nice wick to the upside. Then we just went down from there before we had another wick to the upside in November. And then we've just been going down from there. So here, I mean, I don't mind looking at dojis, but that's a doji candlestick on the monthly time frame, which typically, that's a reversal sign. Right?
Okay.
So since this has been dumping and we have a doji here, that means we should be reversing to the upside compared to if we had a doji up top and went sideways, we would expect to come down in price. But again, I don't put too much belief into that. And the monthly time frame, can we draw trend lines? Of course. Absolutely, but I don't think I'm going to keep them there. So if I draw it from the bottom of this green wick here from July of 2021, let me just line it up good. And then touch point here on September of 2021 and just drag it out.
Yeah.
Just a second. Let's
Right.
line it up. It doesn't have to be perfect because this isn't, too, it's only been on here for, a little less than a year. But again, with this counter trend line, we could see where it started. We could see a couple touch points. These aren't really sitting on the trend line, but when we broke through it, we just melted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we could draw a trend line here from this green candlestick, the same one we drew it on from the bottom. We just line up the top here. And then touch point here for November and extend it out. Okay.
Okay.
And from here, we just have these two touch points at the top for the top of the wicks. From the monthly time frame, let's go look at the weekly now. Okay, so the weekly time frame, again, the weekly makes it look like it's just more sideways than anything else.
Gotcha.
Because there's not a lot of data coming in. So really, these trend lines are relatively valid. It would be hard to really use them
Got it.
to, successfully trade AMP. But if you just look at this, man, we need to plug in, some big movements. You know what I mean? If you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Cumrocket, whatever it may be, we just need more data and we need a lot more volatility. But if this coin went from, 12 cents and it's down below 3 cents currently, that's just an amazing buy opportunity, because if it goes back up to 12 cents, man, and say this isn't even almost at 3 cents right now, that would 4x your money. That's 400% gains just to come back up and, rival some of these wicks, right? And what do I tell you all the time? Wicks get filled.
Why don't you draw a block for them? The rectangle. I like that.
So, the only problem I have with that, I'm going to do it though, but the only problem I have with that is, look, at the top of that wick is 12 cents, and to the green body right here is 9 cents, right?
That'd be too big of a range for you.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you,
Got it.
I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about with the rectangle tool. So let's do that. Top, drag it out and come to the top of the candle body. I mean, just look at that. You know what I mean? You might as well, if I was going to do this, man, I would just I would just throw everything in, dude. You know what I mean? That's really not.
Yeah. So this one is not the best to do technical analysis on, because you don't have enough data, enough previous history for you to look back on and look at the previous trends.
Yeah, exactly. We would just have to see where AMP was initially listed, or what exchanges it's been listed on the longest. But just so you see what I'm talking about is why I wouldn't, like on Shiba, we did this a lot for the point of breakouts when they get retested. But just with this, I mean, let me see, excuse me. Come on, mouse.
Is it tripping out?
A little bit. Okay, here we go. It's not going to be perfect, but what is that? A 25%?
Yeah, 25%.
To draw where it could potentially go. You're not going to make too much money trading like that. But, so from here with this is, I'll break my rule. We could look at the daily time frame. Let's do this and just zoom in.
But look at that. Is that
now we could, this we could do technical analysis on, but again, this is the daily time frame. So the technical analysis that we do probably won't be too valid. Look at that wick right there. That is a crazy.
Oh, to 38 cents?
Crazy. No, not 38 cents.
I mean, 0.038. Sorry.
Okay. I wish 38 cents. My goodness. Okay. So from here, I mean, we could do a little bit of technical analysis. We have our low after wherever we just came down from. We had a wick up to these two candle bodies here for the closure and the open before it melted. Wick went up there, and what do we say?
Wicks get filled.
Wicks get filled. So let's get our rectangle tool out, drop from the top of the wick to the bottom of the candle body. And that's exactly what happened, is we formed this wick, we dumped back down, and once we got back in here, we pretty much filled it. I would say that's filling it. But what I like right here is this is a great example. Excuse me. Man, this mouse is...
Oh, sorry, dude. You want my mouse? I'll give you my mouse if it's better.
No, I just got to buy you some damn...
Oh, man, don't worry. We'll upgrade. Don't worry. I'm already working on it.
So right here. I'm looking at this wick here.
Okay. That one needs to get filled now.
Exactly. I would expect a wick like this to be filled. I mean, sure, we came down a decent amount, but we're rolling back up to the upside. I just like this. This potentially in another month or so, we could call this a cup and handle formation before we start pumping up, which this would be the bottom of the cup starting to form. Then if you could imagine, we'd have a little handle before we just started going to the moon.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But again, this is really choppy. We have all these wicks here to the upside, this one. And this one, we have a couple wicks to the downside. But, we just got bought back up.
Got it.
And again, just so you see that wicks get filled right here. That's like a wick being filled that I like. So I'm basing it off here, February 22nd of 2022, drew it from the bottom of the candle to the bottom of the wick and just extended it out. And if you look at that, we got filled. Everything, we pumped back up, started coming down to it, filled it, and now we're coming back to the top.
Okay.
So we don't have on the daily time frame, really, again, this would be a huge one to say that this needs to be filled. So I would say our wicks to the downside have been filled, and now we should look to start filling the wicks to the upside for AMP specifically.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good. Well, I mean, with what you got, right, to work with, because
Yeah.
it'd be much better if you had more data.
Exactly. And like I said, that you could find that easily, but to keep it simple, we just wanted to look at it like this because people might have questions as well as, okay, well, the coin hasn't been around for, a full year yet, or it's only been around for a year. How do you do technical analysis on it? This would be perfect.
Got it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, we wanted to keep this one short. Just a little update. We are going to try to keep doing this ones on Sundays during the weekly closures just to see where we're at in the market and, talk about the coins that we're in a little bit like we did today. AMP, that's one of our biggest holdings right now. So we're definitely bullish on that. So if you're thinking about buying AMP, this is not financial advice. Don't do it. No, do whatever you want. But looking at this, you guys get an idea for the upside, and the upside is great on AMP. So that's what we're in it because the upside looks great. But like I said, with anything, there's risks. So think about that. But I'm looking for a big reward. So I'm willing to risk a lot. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you. Let me transform real quick. Let me see. Come over here. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to Butter Smooth Crypto. Thank you, Crypto King, for showing up. You want to say bye to the people?
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.